The Cyclops, the mistake that cursed a hero. Picture it. 10 years at Troy are finally behind you, and all you want is to get home. But your supplies are running low, so you and a handful of your best men climb into a cave stocked with cheese and meat, planning to trade for what you need. Then the cave's owner comes home, and he's a Cyclops. Polyphemus seals the entrance with a boulder you couldn't move with 20 men, and starts eating your crew 2 at a time. You can't fight him, so you get him drunk instead, and when he asks your name, you tell him it's nobody. Once he's asleep, you blind him with a sharpened stake, and when he screams that nobody is attacking him, the other Cyclopes just shrug and walk away. The next morning, you strap your men under the bellies of his sheep and slip out past him unnoticed. You've won. You're free. And then you ruin it. As your ship pulls away, you can't resist shouting your real name back at him. You want the credit. That single moment of pride is the one you'll regret for the next 10 years, because Polyphemus prays to his father, Poseidon, and Poseidon answers. Every hardship that follows in this story exists because you couldn't keep your name to yourself. The suitor's slaughter, coming home to a stolen kingdom. You've finally made it back to Ithaca after 20 years, and it's nothing like you left it. Over 100 men have taken over your palace, eating your food, wearing your clothes, and pressuring your wife to remarry. Athena disguises you as a broken-down old beggar so you can walk through your own front door without anyone recognizing you. You watch, you wait, you say nothing while your wife Penelope announces a contest. Whoever can string your old bow and shoot an arrow through 12 axe heads in a row gets to marry her. One by one, the suitors try and fail. Some can't even bend the thing. Then you step forward, still in disguise, and ask for a turn. The room laughs at you. Then you string the bow like it's nothing, and the arrow flies clean through all 12. That's the moment the disguise stops mattering. You turn the bow on the men who've spent years disrespecting your house, and with your son standing beside you, you don't stop until every last one of them is dead. This is what the entire journey has been leading to you, standing in your own home, finally taking it back. Circe, the witch or chemist who redirects your whole journey. You send your men ahead to scout the island of Aeaea, and they find a beautiful home where a beautiful woman invites them in for a feast. You should know by now that nothing on this journey is ever what it looks like. She's the sorceress Circe, and the moment your men finish eating, she turns them into pigs. You go to save them, but on the way, the god Hermes stops you and hands you a strange plant called moly black at the root, with a flower white as milk, and tells you to eat it before you go near her. You do. Her magic slides right off you, and you force her at sword point to change your men back. Here's where it gets interesting. Some researchers now think this scene wasn't pure invention. Circe's baneful drugs line up disturbingly well with a real Mediterranean plant called Jimson weed, which causes amnesia, hallucinations, and exactly the kind of confused, animal-like behavior your men displayed. And that mysterious plant Hermes gives you black root, white flower closely matches snowdrop, a real plant containing a compound called galantamine that blocks the same nerve disruption Jimson weed causes. In other words, you may not have escaped a witch's spell at all, you may have out-chemistrized a chemist. Impressed rather than afraid, Circe keeps you around for a year. When you're finally ready to leave, she doesn't just wish you well, she tells you where you have to go next, into the Underworld itself, to speak with the dead. The Underworld, where you have to face what glory really costs. Circe sends you somewhere no living man has gone down to the edge of the world to dig a trench, sacrifice animals into it, and let the blood draw the spirits of the dead close enough to speak. The prophet Tiresias arrives first, and he gives you one instruction you cannot afford to ignore. Whatever island you land on next, do not let your men touch the sacred cattle of the sun god Helios. Then you meet Achilles, the greatest warrior who ever lived, the man who chose a short, glorious life over a long, quiet one. You'd expect him to be proud of that choice. He isn't. He tells you he'd rather be a poor servant alive on earth than a king ruling over the dead. Sit with that for a second. You've spent your whole life chasing exactly the kind of glory Achilles is telling you, from beyond the grave, isn't worth it. It's the one moment in this entire journey where the story stops asking what happens next and starts asking what any of it was for. Calypso, 7 years you didn't choose. After a shipwreck takes your crew and your fleet, you wash up alone on Calypso's island and she falls for you immediately. She offers you something almost no mortal ever gets offered. Stay with her and she'll make you immortal. You say no. You want your wife, your son, your actual life, not an eternity on someone else's island. She doesn't take the rejection well. She keeps you there anyway, for 7 years, while you sit on the shore every night wishing you were somewhere else. It takes Athena going straight to Zeus to finally get you released. When Calypso lets you go, she even helps you build the raft yourself. Imagine turning down immortality and then still needing someone else to argue for your freedom before you're allowed to leave. Scylla and Charybdis, a choice with no good answer. Ahead of you is a narrow strait, and Circe has already told you what's waiting on either side. On one shore is Scylla, a 6-headed monster who'll snatch sailors right off your deck. On the other is Charybdis, a whirlpool that can swallow your entire ship whole. You don't get to avoid both. You only get to choose which kind of loss you can live with. You steer towards Scylla, because losing 6 men is a price you can survive and losing the whole ship isn't. As you pass beneath the cliff, 6 heads dart down and take 6 of your sailors in seconds, and you don't even get time to grieve before you have to keep moving. This is the moment that gave us the phrase between Scylla and Charybdis, because sometimes every option in front of you costs something. The Sirens, a song you're not supposed to survive. You already know what's coming, Circe warned you. The Sirens song lures sailors to their deaths, no exceptions. So you make sure your crew can't hear a single note. Their ears get packed with beeswax. But you want to hear it. You want to be the one man who survives it. So you have your men tie you to the mast, and you tell them, no matter what happens, don't let you go. As the song grows louder, it's not a metaphor. You actually feel yourself losing control, straining against the ropes, begging your own crew to release you. And they don't, because they can't hear you over the wax in their ears. You make it through. You become the first man to hear the Sirens sing and live. And somewhere behind you, the Sirens, who were fated to die the moment anyone resisted them, do exactly that. The cattle of Helios, the one rule you couldn't enforce. Remember what Tiresias told you in the Underworld? Don't touch the cattle of Helios. Now you're stuck on Thrinacia, the island where that exact cattle grazes, and a storm won't let you leave. Weeks pass, your food runs out. Your men are starving, and while you're asleep, the one time you're not watching, they kill the cattle and eat it anyway. You wake up to a disaster you can't undo. Helios complains to Zeus, and the moment you set sail again, Zeus splits your ship apart with a thunderbolt. Every man you have left drowns. You're the only one who survives, clinging to broken wood for 9 days straight. This is Poseidon's curse finally landing its full weight. The crew's story ends here, and yours continues completely alone. Penelope's weaving trick. The war you never saw happening at home. While you're out fighting monsters, your wife Penelope is fighting a war of her own back in Ithaca. Everyone assumes you're dead, and the suitors are demanding she remarry. Instead of giving in, she tells them she'll choose a husband as soon as she finishes weaving a burial shroud for your father. Every day, she weaves in front of them. Every night, she quietly undoes it. For 3 years, she buys time this way before a servant finally gives away the secret. You never see this happen, you're across the sea the entire time, but it's the reason there's still a home and a wife waiting for you when you finally get back. The Lotus-Eaters, the warning you almost missed. A storm blows you off course just as Ithaca comes into view, and you land instead on the island of the Lotus-Eaters. Your men go looking for directions and come back with fruit instead, and you don't realize until it's too late that eating it makes people forget home entirely and stop wanting to leave at all. You catch it just in time. You drag your men back to the ships before the fruit can take hold of the whole crew, and you sail away fast. In Homer's actual text, you're on this island for only a few lines, barely any time at all. But it's stuck around in the language for thousands of years anyway, because it's such a simple, unsettling idea. Sometimes the danger isn't a monster or a god. Sometimes it's just something so comfortable you forget you ever wanted to leave.